Hey everybody, welcome to the Shire. Except we're not at the Shire today. We're back home in Berea, and we're sitting around the electric fireplace, a beautiful Christmas tree with Mama and the boys, and we're all home just enjoying a lovely, lovely afternoon in Ohio. Now, the reason I'm wearing a stocking cap and everyone else is wearing appropriate clothes is while it is 68 degrees in here and very comfortable, it is a balmy -4 outside. Yes, that's pretty cold for December in Ohio, no matter who you talk to. So really cold weather. Really fortunate that Aaron's plane was able to get in today because it was cold, it was windy, it was snowy. But thank you, United, for getting Aaron here safely for us. And so today, what are we doing? Well, we are making some delicious treats for the holidays, some goodies for Christmas Eve, and some goodies to take down to Grandma's tomorrow. And so this is part one of that. Part one is some delicious mac and cheese. We're going to call it holiday mac and cheese that Adam's put together for us. And it's a great video. It's a little bit lengthy because it is a very complex process. Bit labor intensive.
It's just labor intensive.
See, he says not complex, labor. See, if you're a chef, you always say it's not complex. You say, oh, it's just labor intensive. Trust me, it's complex. But anyways, so that's what we're doing. Great video. Stay tuned. We're going to show it to you, and then we're going to do a little bit of baking a little bit later on. So we will be right back. Hi, everybody. We are at the condo today making delicious treats for the holiday for Christmas Eve, which is tomorrow, and Christmas Day, which is on Sunday. So today Adam is going to make for us
just some fancy mac and cheese.
Fancy mac and cheese. Now, what goes into fancy mac and cheese?
So basically a big problem you run into with mac and cheese in general is if you leave it out for more than 5 minutes, it just turns into a brick of cheese and noodles. So in order to avoid that, what you do for this is instead of creating just melted cheese and some noodles, you create something called a bechamel. And
bechamel is?
Bechamel, basically it's used a lot in Cajun cooking. Essentially it's a roux with milk.
Cool.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use freshly ground Parmesan, Gouda, and Gruyere. Pretty much it's just go ahead and pick whatever cheese you like and just make sure they're good melters. You can just find that online. Then some other stuff that we have here, we got some bacon going in, some chives, and some panko breadcrumbs that we're going to fry up for it too. Really give it that sort of loaded baked potato mac and cheese kind of feel. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to make it right now, sample some, make sure it's good to go, and then freeze it up and take it down to Grandma's for Christmas.
Okay, that sounds great. So we have all our ingredients set out here. We have flour, bacon, chives, all our cheeses, our panko, our macaroni. So we're going to get into the process of doing this and putting everything together, and it'll really be great. I mean, I know it'll be absolutely terrific. So we're going to put this together, and instead of the long form of filming every little thing that we do, we're going to kind of bring you aboard when we're doing certain steps as Adam's putting this together. We'll show you how you make say the word again.
Bechamel.
We're going to show you how you make the bechamel, and then we're going to show all the stuff we throw into it when we do things. And I think like one of the last things we do is we do the bacon, right? You can never go wrong with bacon. So. Okay, so quick update here. So, okay, what step are we on right now, Adam?
Just grating up all my cheese. It's going to go into the sauce. Basically, when you add the bechamel to all the cheese, it becomes something called a Mornay's sauce. And when you have that...
These names are all confusing, but okay,
yeah,
good.
I mean, them wacky Cajuns.
Right. So are you grating all the cheeses like separately, or do they all just go into like the bowl together?
It's all one big pot.
Oh, look at that.
So
very
basically,
cool.
This thing is going to be about halfway full of cheese, and that's going to be the cheese going into the casserole dish with the pasta. And yeah.
Okay,
it's
cool.
end up nice
Awesome.
and creamy.
All right, we'll check in a minute. Right now, we got Mama Betsy is heating up some chili she made yesterday. on the stove. And I got to tell you, Mama's chili on a -4-degree day is a little slice of heaven in America. So I wish you all could be here to sample it. But okay, we'll be back. Keep going. Okay. Update time. So, all right. So, what have we done since we were last together there?
All right. So, as you can see right there, we have grated up about 1.5 pounds of cheese. Sounds like a lot. Trust me, it's how much goes in. So what we also did is we added some. We got our bacon fried up. We're going to crumble that after it cools.
How much was that? About a
About
third
half
of a pound? Yeah. Okay.
Half a
About
pound.
Okay.
At the big man's request, it was half a pound.
That would be me.
All right. So then what we have here now is we just have a big old greasy pan. So we don't want to get rid of all of this. We just want just a little bit left in there.
Okay, cool.
Put that off to the side, the gross stuff.
And then what do we use the grease for?
So basically what we still have is we got our hot surface, we got our ripping hot pan there. What we have here is panko breadcrumbs, some chives, and a little bit of butter that we didn't use frying up the bacon.
And this makes our...
This is just basically some enhancements to the flavor.
Okay.
So just basically all we're doing, putting it in there, whipping it around. Not for long, just a little bit of time.
Just to soak up the little bit of grease that we left in?
Soak up the grease, fry it up a little. Basically, a good way of knowing when you're done here is when you have the little pad of butter that you had there has been melted for a little bit.
Okay, got it.
Need some more heat, actually. Oh, God. Not that much.
Okay, so you're going to do that. You're going to fry that up a little bit. And then what's going to be our next step after we're done with that?
After that, we're going to start our pasta, which, you know, if you ever cook pasta, it's just macaroni.
Right.
So go ahead and go until you're a little bit al dente. You know, so you got a little bit of a crisp to it because it is going to get baked after that's all said and done.
Right, okay. And then, so you just set that off to the side for just after you get that fried up, right, for just a little bit?
Oh, yeah. That basically can just go hang out with the bacon.
Okay.
And after we're done with that, we can start on really the star of the show, and that is the cheese sauce.
Okay, cool. So just to kind of circle the wagons a bit. So we fried up our bacon. We got our panko and chives in the bacon grease with a little bit of bacon grease. Don't go crazy, but a little bit to give that good flavor. And then we're gonna do our pasta to al dente, and then we'll be back and work on our sauce. Right?
Yep.
Cool. See you in a bit. Bye. Okay, so we're back now. Where are we at now? Give us our steps.
Okay, so basically we just went ahead, we knocked our pasta out, put it in the baking tray that's eventually going to go into the oven. We got our bacon all done, we got all that done, we were already there for that. We moved our cheese over to a bigger bowl, just because folding all that together was going to be a nightmare. Yeah, from there, all we have to do now is the hard part. So, basically making a bechamel. So, essentially what you want to do is operate in medium heat, and eventually that medium heat is going to give way to low heat. Take a quarter cup of butter, and then basically what you're doing, just take your tiny whisk. Yes, this is a recipe from Babish, so tiny whisk is required. I just added a little bit of a twist to it by making it less healthy.
There you go.
So basically, as this is melting down, you know, just keep going, just keep rubbing it. After a while, you can pretty much walk away from it and let it drift by itself, because you're not going to burn the butter on medium heat here in too quick a period of time. And yeah, so this is where we're at right now. Essentially, keep this going, and it's going to be doing that for the next couple minutes.
So you want to come back?
Yeah, we'll come back when it's time to add the flour.
Here we go. Okay, we're back.
All right, so what we have here now is we've let it give up a little bit of moisture. It's still sputtering a little bit, so we'll give it another few seconds. But as you can see, we got like that foamy texture now to our butter.
And that's what we're after.
After that, yeah. So basically, just keep going until you notice that there's, because basically like that clear texture means there's a lot of liquid still in it. The foamy texture means it's down to mostly dairy. So you're taking equal parts flour, this is just all-purpose flour, put it in, and vigorously whisk. And what you're going to end up with is a chunky, unappetizing looking paste.
Oh, that's what I'm always after. Chunky, unappetizing paste was my nickname in college.
And make sure you get in all the nooks and crannies. You'll know you're good when you just have the chunks and you don't have the foam.
I see it's like changing texture quite rapidly.
Oh yeah.
That's needed.
Yes, so here.
Now down to 4 ounces, that's needed. Actually, that's not what I think. It's not
It's still not remember that.
Now what's the kind of, why do we need to get moisture out of that?
Because you're going to get back in. As soon as you start seeing a bit more runs here.
And that's typically, now we don't get typically like ruby, right?
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Right here, I'm going to try to find.
Okay. Okay, so we added what, maybe 4 tablespoons more of flour. Not much, but you can see how it's
Clumping up a little better.
pumping up. Yeah.
The good thing about this kind of thing too is honestly just take it off the heat, stir it around. If you're not liking what you're seeing, you always have time to add more flour. Thing is, the butter base, you gotta have that. You gotta have the moisture out of that first.
Got it.
All right. So I'm gonna keep whipping this until we get to the end result.
All right, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now.
All right. And as promised, this is what you're looking for. I told you to be unappetizing.
Yes, I agree.
So,
that is a little unappetizing.
Now, what you do is you take the moisture we're adding back in, and you add slowly, about 1/4 of a cup at a time. Take it off the heat, just hold it above. Yep. Thank you to the cameraman there for dropping the heat a little bit more. And as you're going,
I'm not sure he does, really, honestly. I think it's just his name.
Would you rather be 11 feet tall or 9 inches tall?
Is there a difference?
11 feet or 9 inches tall? Would you rather vomit on your hero or have your hero vomit on you?
That's pretty interesting there.
Would you rather be an extra?
That's really interesting because that's like it's absorbing that moisture, and the flour lumpiness is getting more dramatic.
Would you rather be an extra in an Oscar-winning movie? Or
So the idea of being able to add that in a slower manner is to try to, well, obviously keep it from scorching the milk, right?
yeah, so you don't want to scorch the milk, because as you saw at the very first one, when we were still on a bit of a higher heat, we had issues with...
Started to sizzle.
We had a bit of a sizzle. No one likes their milk to sizzle. So as you can see though, with every additional thing we're adding in, it's becoming creamier and creamier.
Nice. Okay, I like it. It's a different color than I would have imagined. It's like,
Oh yeah.
you know, it's not. It's a light brown look to it, like almost like a caramelized look to it.
It is going to look sort of caramel colored for a little bit, and that is going to, after a little while, give way to just like an off-white. And then
Okay.
the off-white is going to mix with like the yellow hues of the cheese, and it's just going to look like,
Gonna look pretty
frankly,
cool.
cheese colored.
Yeah,
Not like
nice.
American cheese, but like,
Yeah.
you know, just... It all depends on what kind of cheeses you use too, to
Right.
get the coloration.
Now you're adding the rest of that. That's 2, and you're going for 4 total, right?
Yes.
And our heat's pretty low now. We're 3 out of 10,
Mhm.
and that's still plenty warm enough to melt the cheese, right?
Oh yeah. Well, the cheese. The reason you pick the cheeses that you do is because of melting points.
Okay.
So you want to avoid situations where the cheese is too
Like a Swiss or something like that
yeah,
doesn't want to melt.
That's also the reason that you should grate your own cheese for it, because the pre-packaged shredded cheese comes with a preservative on it that's an anti-clumping agent.
Okay.
That anti-clumping agent really interferes with its ability to melt.
Okay, cool. Now that's really neat because that is turning into quite a creamy, like it's almost like a custard or pudding consistency.
All right.
Boy, that looks cool. That is a neat consistency. The consistency has really changed. I mean, you know, you started with the melted butter, then the flour kind of was weird. It kind of like, well, that looks weird. I'm not sure where that's going to go. But by adding the milk back in, it's a very smooth custard-like look. It's really neat.
Would you rather never eat watermelon?
Now, is this part of the roux process, or are we actually beyond that now?
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know the technical terms,
Yeah.
and I don't want to get clowned on by someone who knows their Cajun cooking.
That's
I
a good point.
I have a very rudimentary understanding of it, but you know, it makes good food. That's what I know.
Yeah. That's the one thing here in Ohio we don't do a lot of is Cajun cooking. So when we have the opportunity to experiment and do it, and Adam's quite good at it, it really is a treat. Behind us here, that's the thing. There's 4 cups of milk.
So, have you ever wrap up and flour milk once? Now, it's all right. Yeah, that's all it's in. Let's throw more. Just go ahead and make sure it's once. I'm going to put it over in. Turn that over to me. I'm going to cheese.
At this point, should be preheating the oven.
I'll do it. So in there, and we'll preheat the oven to 325.
Okay, we'll do that and we'll be back. We're back.
Okay, so as you can see right now, what we've got our nice creamy bechamel here. So what we want to do is just keep going, keep whipping it together until you get a consistency just over heavy cream.
Okay.
So since we're using, instead of whole milk, we're using something a little lighter, got to whip a little bit longer. But we're getting pretty close.
And we're heating the oven to 375.
Yep.
For the baking for 45 minutes once we have everything assembled.
You might see here too, we pumped the heat up just a little bit for this process. The purpose of that is to get it nice and steamy. Alright.
That looks about like heavy cream, so yeah.
Yep.
Now,
we're in a good spot now, so here we go with this next step.
do you need another set of hands?
Another set of hands is going to be useful.
Hey Betzer, would you mind coming and giving a set of hands?
Actually, I can probably do this, but
Just a set of hands, just to hold the bowl of cheese so that we don't.
okay, yeah, just hold the bowl of cheese for me. And here we go, transferring it over.
That looks beautiful. You want a scraper?
Oh yeah, if you could do that while I hold it. And we want to pass it through the sieve here, just because we're trying to strain out any stray bits of raw flour that didn't dissipate or get whipped in properly. So if you want to come over here, that's probably good. Thank you so much. Put that to the side for now. So what we'll do here is we will just help it out a little bit. Getting it down through there. And you see, we have officially covered all of our cheesy goodness in our creamy butter flour milk sauce, the bechamel.
You can put that over here when you're done if you want.
Yep. That looks good. All right. So we got plenty of it.
You want to set it here?
No, I'm just gonna pop it over here.
Oh, okay. All right.
Put that over with our dirties. Gonna keep a hold of this because that will be useful in a bit. All right, find this. And now it's time to just fold the ever-loving crap out of that cheese.
Oh, it's really melting fast.
Oh yeah, it'll do that. So the thing with this too is you keep folding, you keep folding, you keep folding. Eventually, you're not going to be able to fold anymore. And
Okay.
at that point, break back out the whisk.
Gotcha.
Merry Christmas, Ross family. It's Amanda Aarons. I sent a message on Facebook yesterday while I was at work. I wasn't sure you'd get it, so I wanted to let you know that an Amazon package showed up for Amanda. Did you order
Alright, so
something from
good check.
Amazon?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Okay. Here, you want to give that a finger test?
It's interesting, they're drinking cough syrup.
It's not seasoned yet.
And I'm
Oh, boy.
surprised that hasn't
That's
been
lovely.
frowned upon more.
Super creamy,
It used to be kind of
super cheesy,
Yeah.
very nice.
Yep.
Did you get glasses of Coke syrup?
Alright, so.
Yeah.
The cakes with this?
Oh,
Yeah,
actually,
it's called-
some good news over here. You
it's
see this?
coating
As it dries, it actually takes on more of the color of the cheese.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
So that'll be good.
That's cool.
I was worried about that. Okay, so some other things we want to do here. We want to add just a little bit of cayenne. We want to add a little bit of black pepper. If I can get it open. A couple good pinches of kosher salt. And never forget your stone ground Dijon mustard. 2 good size. Of course it did. One sec. One and 2 of the Dijon mustard. Good there. And we get back to whisking. Whisk until everything is combined.
Yeah?
Yep.
Good.
It's got a good flavor to it. It's a little muted. But, I mean, I feel it personally, the cheesiness comes through, and that's what we want.
Exactly.
So I'm going to hit it with a little bit more salt and pepper. I'm going to avoid dashing it with too much more cayenne because I know my audience.
Yeah, don't do more cayenne, please.
This one's going to require some heavy editing.
Not really. Well, this is all good.
Keep whisking to combine. So what we have now is we're supposed to have a slightly creamier sauce, admittedly. But what we have now is almost like a very loose cookie dough, which it's going to work. It's going to still seep into the crevices and things like that we need it to do. But, you know, I would have preferred it would be a little creamier. But with that, it's about as much whiskey business as we're going to give it.
Ah, I get it. Whiskey business.
Yep. And in we go.
I'm going to look over your shoulder. We're going to get that all moved around and we'll be right back. Okay.
Okay, we're back. And the good news is the color did make a turn for the better.
Nice.
So
That's
we're
beautiful.
all good there. So now what we have is we've got our last bit to do. Because we ended up a bit thicker than we wanted to, what we ended up doing is instead of letting it just seep into the nooks and crannies, we just did a good mix throughout. So everything should be evenly coated, everything's in with it. But we're going to end up doing it again because we got to add the aforementioned less healthy bits.
Okay.
So that's going to include our chunked bacon that we were grilling up earlier. Just off the rest of that, and I will take the rest of this. Put that off to the side. Then what we have,
Spread that around a bit.
yeah, well, I mean, we're going to be spreading it throughout.
Oh, I thought you was a top coating.
No, it's not a top coating. It's going to be going throughout.
Okay.
Along with roughly half of our fried panko and chives is going to get spread within. The other half is going to be a topping.
So you're going to stir that through again.
Yes.
Okay.
Those are neat. Those paired with toppings.
Super cool.
So we got that. And then we have, because we didn't have enough cheese, we are taking small cubed bits and we're going to stir these in. And that way, these are like, of each of our cheeses, just little blocks,
They're like cheese prizes.
little cheese prizes. All right, and with that, we're just going to fold this whole mamma jamma together.
Looks nice. It's quite lovely.
Okay, so now that we're back from the fast forward, we will go ahead and go with the last bits, which is just a nice on top layer of the panko breadcrumbs. And I heard someone say we didn't have enough cheese, so here's our cheese topping. It's some of our stuff that I grated up right at the very beginning. So we're just throwing that on top. This is the Parmesan, I believe. Dropped a little bit of cheese. The dog will take care of that.
That's a beauty. Wow, nice.
All right, so we got that. And I'm going to finish it off with just another handful of panko and chives, because you can never have enough chives and fried bread.
I believe that might even be in the Bible.
I'm pretty sure. I think it's Diabeticus too. The letters to the diabetics.
Letters to the diabetics, that's right.
Okay, and with that, we have ourselves
Wow.
the makings of our
So that-
fancy mac and cheese.
So that is pretty darn spectacular. Not easy, but spectacular. Now,
It's-
what are we gonna
it's-
do with that now?
Pretty easy. It's just labor intensive. So from here, it goes into the oven at 375 degrees for 45 minutes. All right, so it's been 45 minutes.
Yes.
We're ready to pull this thing out, see what we got. So, like all pasta dishes, like this, you want to wait at least 20 minutes before cutting into it, but I don't know
Wow.
if that's going to be too easy. It looks like French onion soup.
Wow, is that beautiful?
It smells so good.
Now, what we'll have
Good
to do,
job, chef.
What we'll have to do is we'll have to get the sample cheese pull, but this is going down to Grandma's on Christmas Day. Good news is this reheats beautifully. There's no, you don't have to worry about it coming back like soggy. You don't have to worry about it clumping weird because everything that's in it will reheat just like the first time, just like you just made it.
Awesome. That is great. So we get to take a core sample in about 20 minutes?
About 20 minutes, we'll do the core sample.
All right, we'll be back. Are we ready? Are we ready for a core sample?
Yes, we are. We're not taking a full core sample. We're just taking from the corner. So here we go.
Look
This
at
is
that.
what we've got for our baked mac and cheese.
Wow, that looks spectacular. All right,
So-
Mama, you first.
Everyone grab a fork and let me know how I did.
See what we think, Mama.
I'll take a little ramekin, please.
All right, Aaron's under his blanket, so we gotta get him a ramekin.
Okay, first I want to get Mama's reaction.
Okay. Here, if you want to actually just divvy it up into ramekins, we can do
Okay,
that too.
that sounds good. I'll take a corner.
Take a bit more of a. Corners are a little bit on the like.
No,
they're
that's
not
perfect.
burnt, but
They're
like
crispy.
That's the
they're
good-
definitely crispy because got a lot of cheese.
That's the good stuff. Ready? There's a bite.
Yep.
Ready? Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Well,
Mmm.
happy to hear it.
Are you saying that it's a winner?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Great job, chef.
It's amazing.
Okay.
All right,
cheesy.
that's a beauty. Look at it again. One more shot of it.
Beautiful.
That is just gorgeous.
Woohoo.
Good job. That is really special. Thank you, Adam.
Woohoo.